All right, our top focus. The rising tensions between India and Pakistan comes against a backdrop of severe economic decline, political unrest and widespread public resentment over military interference in civilian affairs in Pakistan. China's economic status also remains wobbly. The dragon country faces tough economic conditions, including a trade war with the US, which is now shifting the manufacturing supply lines to India. Could that be the reason why China vows to support Pakistan against India? In the wake of the Pahalgam terror attack, China has voiced support for Pakistan, calling for an impartial investigation while backing Islamabad's legitimate security concerns. At the heart of this support is China's interest in Pakistan. Beijing may be concerned about implications for the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC. India has always opposed CPEC as it runs through the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Beijing's stand in India-Pakistan matters is also China's pivot of its South Asia strategy to keep Pakistan under its control and away from the United States' influence. Gwadar Port, a planned rival to Dubai, is yet another strategic reason for China's stance to support Pakistan. This port in Pakistan gives China access to the strategic Indian Ocean and showcases Beijing's global ambition. Currently, China's economy is reeling under a trade war with the US, with slowing growth and fragile consumer sentiment. She is wary of fueling regional instability that could further rattle the markets. She also faces a fragile domestic scene, battling an export slowdown and trying to ensure his political survival ahead of the 2027 Party Congress. Now, with India at the forefront of China +1 strategy, Beijing is battling an economic slide as well. For example, Apple has moved its manufacturing base to India from China amid trade tensions between Beijing and Washington, with many other companies looking at this as the solution going forward. China and India have tried to mend ways after the Doklam standoff. Multiple reports suggested that the two nations were sorting out trade ties. But with this recent escalation with Pakistan and China supporting impartial probe, the ties between the two Asian superpowers might worsen in times to come. And well, for more on this, we are now being joined by Dr. Shrikant Kindapalli. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, sir.
Thank you.
First up, talk to us about China's stakes in the ongoing standoff between India and Pakistan. It earlier backed Pakistan for an impartial probe and then supplied Pakistan with PL-15 missiles. Why is China supporting Pakistan at this point of time?
Well, as you mentioned, there is also the President Trump's tariff war that is waging. And in this context, many of the projects that China initiated in Pakistan, that is the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which includes Gwadar Port. For 45 years, they have been undertaking this project into the future, and they plan to have something like 5 lakh Chinese residents placed in Gwadar in the future, so that they can start exporting first the manufacturing sector and then exporting to the West Asian region and Africa from Gwadar. So that is broadly their strategy in order to enhance the Chinese economic control over Pakistan. Of course, the terrorism issue is also affecting China, but China is making a bilateral deal with the Pakistani ISI in terms of handing over the Uyghur insurgents in Xinjiang. Secondly, also there is the Global Times, which is a Communist Party newspaper, which also called for striking Pakistan through missile attacks when the Dasu hydroelectricity dam incident took place, when 9 Chinese were killed in this incident in 2021. So they are planning to go even to that extent of striking Pakistan. But on the issue of Pahalgam, they were suggesting to an investigation and obfuscating the whole issue in terms of the terror attack. The Chinese objectives in Pakistan are, of course, to propel the Pakistan army. In the Chinese assessments, they think that the other power centers in Pakistan are not really, they are vulnerable, like the civil society, political leadership, the judiciary, and the media and others. So they think that they need to propel the Pakistan army, and hence they would possibly even provide for material support to the Pakistan army.
Right, Dr. Kondapalli, you've clearly elaborated on how China's heavy investment in Pakistan is maybe one of the reasons why China is backing Pakistan. But do you think that this stance is made by China is more to hurt India's economic growth, especially with China +1 strategy and India leading that strategy, with companies moving away from China and investing in India?
In the Trump first administration, there was this China Plus strategy by weaning away some of the 77,000 American companies in China to relocate to other parts of the world. Basically friendshoring and onshoring strategies. But that did not really work out, because just about 250 American companies out of 77,000 have shifted outside, and mostly to Vietnam and Indonesia, and just about a few towards India. So the China Plus strategy actually did not work. So the Trump administration, currently the second administration, is rethinking about the strategy of China Plus. And of course, the MAGA movement is also to attract this manufacturing base. In the interim, of course, they want to also wean away some of these companies to other countries like India. But this is not yet successful. In the light of this, the Chinese have been very cautious in extending any support to India. The total Chinese investment in India for an economy of $19 trillion is just about $8 billion in the last 20 years. So China is not interested in terms of investing in India. Secondly, they are not interested in also putting India onto the manufacturing hub.
Right. My last question to you, how do you see this China's stance towards Pakistan impacting New Delhi and Beijing ties, considering how ties were just getting better after Prime Minister Modi and met the Chinese President Xi Jinping last year?
Well, the October 23rd meeting in Kazan is supposed to normalize the border situation. However, only disengagement and patrolling have happened in the border areas between India and China. We have not seen the de-escalation and de-induction of troops. That is still pending. And in the meanwhile, we have the Pahalgam incident, which would have some impact on the India-China relations, because the Chinese interlocutors have been suggesting that any kinetic or non-kinetic actions between India and Pakistan should not disturb the CPEC, nor the Chinese presence in Pakistan. There are about 36,000 Chinese living in the CPEC projects, so their security is of concern to China. And thirdly, I think they are trying to prop up the Pakistan army in terms of the equipment, as well as increasing the costs or even increasing the vulnerabilities for India.
Right, Dr. Kondapalli. Thank you for joining us and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you.